Hi, welcome back to the Health, Weight Loss and Wellness Show. I'm getting the name of the show right now. It's been a while. I just want to introduce you to our next speaker, expert on emotional intelligence, Sam. Sam is a father, a husband, a mental health advocate, emotional intelligence catalyst. Maybe he can teach me to speak today. Mentor, business and personal coach, relationship coach, and founder of Mental Health. And Sam likes to say we are born to win, but conditioned to fail. And I'm super excited to get into this conversation with you because I really don't feel like we talk about emotional intelligence enough. And it is something that I work with my clients too. So I love this topic. But you've got an interesting journey that got you to this topic. Would you like to share that with the folks watching at home?
Thank you, Jody, for inviting me to be part of this amazing summit. I would say people who are going to be sharing their story on this summit are going to be exceptionally beautiful as well. So my journey, well, emotional
Oh, I've
intelligence.
lost the sound for you, Sam.
Can you hear me?
Oh, are you there? Go again.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yep, sorry, that was me just trying to turn up the sound and I accidentally muted you. Go ahead, sorry.
So what I was, let me just begin. So, I'm so glad that I'm part of this amazing summit you have organized. And those who are going to be coming as speakers are exceptional people. I know a few people in there as well. And I'm so privileged to be part of this. And thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to
You're
be
welcome.
part of this summit as well. So emotional intelligence, majority of time we only talk about intelligent quotient, which is IQ, because we are always being told that you should be very good at your education, very good at this, very good at that. But we never talk about emotional intelligence because that was never being part of our DNA. Because we thought everything is working as it is working, everything is fine. Because we are always suppress our emotions, we always remain suppress our emotion, and we come out in a completely different episode in our lives, where some people will come up with a chronic fatigue, which is part of emotional issues or emotional suppression what we do. Some people come out with a amazingly angry mind or angry attitude towards everything. Everything is wrong. Everything is unacceptable. So these are all emotion you suppress, and sometimes people have a face on their face, another face, which is a facade, a sort of a mask we call it, and that mask is to show that they are very strong, but deep down they are actually dying because they have no way to articulate themselves. And
Yeah.
those emotions they're suppressing. Now, my journey, I'm a father of five girls.
Wow. You need a
Three,
medal.
three my own girls, and my present wife got two girls. So in between we have five girls. So emotional intelligence is definitely very important in my role at this moment as a father, as a husband. I have to manage a lot of emotions. Not about that. No, and not everybody can manage their emotion. Everybody can manage their emotions. It's not about controlling your emotion. It's about managing your emotions. And emotions are, you know, they are there for you because we all get emotions. You get a happy morning when you start in the morning and say, yeah, I'm so happy. And suddenly you hear a news, you get sad.
Yeah.
And our emotions actually have a receptors. Now, there is a book called The Molecules of Emotions, done by Candice Pratt. She's a American. She passed away, but she did a completely deep down research on emotions.
Mm.
And our emotions plays a significant role in our day-to-day life. Our emotions got receptors. Now, receptors means receiving something. So you can see there are two antennas on our emotions, and they're receiving information from outside or from inside, and they have a sort of a chemical dance on it. So as I said earlier, you are happy in the morning, but suddenly you get sad because the emotion changes. And more emotion changes on a woman than men. Men suppress a lot of things. Women, on the other hemisphere, they like to articulate, they like to share, they like to talk about it, they like to just
Mm.
wanted to take it out. But some women do keep that inside them because they have no avenue to do that. But in the man perspective, we men are being conditioned. Now, as you remember when you mentioned the statement, we are born to win, but conditioned to fail. Now, we are all born winners, as we know that we fought millions and billions of sperms, and then you were the lucky one who actually penetrated and went into the womb of your
Yeah.
mother, and you came out. So you were the first winner. Even though you won the lottery, you call it, but you were the winner,
Yeah,
correct?
well, there's certainly the same kind of odds, isn't it? There's a lottery.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you were the winner. You came out. You became the person, a boy or a girl. If you were a boy or a girl, we are all been conditioned. By the age of 7 years old, we are completely conditioned, and we have a
Yeah.
blueprint from where we actually take our journey ahead, going forward. While you are a teenager, you go back. What has happened when you were by the 7 years old? What sort of a conditioning you are being done? What
Mm.
sort of creativity has been given? Are you being given this opportunity? If you hurt yourself, you cry, and this is, all right, darling, don't worry about it. It's okay. It's okay to cry. For girls was all right, but if girls fall down and they start crying and say, don't worry, crying, don't worry, we'll clean your wound and we will give. And the boy, on the other hand, if he falls down and he cries and say, don't cry like a baby or don't cry like a girl.
Yeah.
So these are conditioning. You can imagine this conditioning,
And there's plenty of those, isn't there? Set
right?
situations. And we don't remember them as adults. This is the thing, we have all these sorts of things that have taught us and shaped us. What was the term that you used? Conditioned. It's conditioned us to behave the way that we behave now,
Yeah,
to
and you see,
respond when we hurt ourselves.
and then
Or
you
when
are,
we're feeling hurt as well, like that in that scenario, it's like we've fallen, we've actually physically hurt ourselves. Would we then go and when we're emotionally hurt, have the same kind of reaction? Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Because you are suppressing a lot of things. You see that there is a sibling rivalry going on in the houses. And if you got 3 or 4 siblings and you always been looked at that one has been given precedent and another is not given a precedent. And we are 5 brothers. So I'm the middle child. So I got 2 older brothers and 2 younger brothers. But there was no distinct between all of us. We were all equal, even though sometime it happens, but that was not that the norm
Yeah.
because we always been put into a same perspective. Our parents never told us that you want to become a doctor or an engineer. They said this is your life. Whatever you want to decide,
Yeah,
you
that's
do
great.
it yourself. And the freedom of choice, how many parents or how many people have given their children the choice to become what they would like to become instead of, I could not become a doctor or a nurse or an engineer. I want my son or a daughter has to be that person. And
Yeah.
how much pressure you are putting on those small children.
Well, even to look a certain way, and that pressure might be in the form of criticism as well. So we can criticize, oh, I don't know whether you should wear that top, or maybe you shouldn't eat as much, or things like that are forms of that conditioning as well, isn't it?
Yeah. So conditioning in terms of, what we see around us, the media, the social media, we see around us the people living next to each other, or your friends, how they articulate themselves, how they dress up themselves. And
Mm.
you look at yourself and you say, and you started comparing. We are becoming that in a set of like, yeah, if my next door neighbor got a new car, I will bring a new car as well to show him that I can afford it as well, even though I don't afford it. I just got
Yeah.
it because I want to show him off that I got a big house and a big car and everything. And because this is all conditioning. If you are not conditioned, for example, if a man is not conditioned, the woman might be conditioned to see that she needs to stay in that status zone to
Yeah.
show that that she is equal to the next door neighbor as well. More than that.
Where do you think that conditioning, what kind of sets off that conditioning? Because we do a lot of comparing, don't we? We compare. Do you think it's like we're trying to see where we fit in, or do you think that's that conditioning? Maybe there's been some criticism growing up, or sometimes I'm not sure which way. What do you think?
I think this is all conditioning. There is comparison is come from the conditioning area. Yeah. You
Yeah.
condition your childhood with somebody else. And you say, oh yeah, because you've been fed with a silver spoon, you are spoiled brat. Yeah, I was not being given a silver spoon. I was been working hard since I was a child. Yeah, or I work all my life, but you are given all the bounties of the world in your hand, in your two hands, and you still not have a thankful attitude. What
Yeah.
sort of a person are you? So you are comparing all the time because we are being compared from the childhood. You come home with your report card and your parent look at your report card and they will say, did you know that your next door neighbor's son got the first position?
Yeah.
And they started comparing, and the kid has this notion of competition. He never enjoys his education. He never enjoys the moment of everything, and he started having a competition for the rest of his life. He's always comparing and competing, and or how many people you have seen, and you will say, you know what, they are content. They don't want to look at other things. They are just content and happy wherever they are.
Yeah.
There was a story about this Messiah warrior taking this American who had all the gadgets with him. And Messiah warrior was wearing just a staff on the loin on his body, and then had a big staff in his hand. He was walking, and he was watching this American guy with all his gadgets. And further down, the guy says, would you like to try something? And then the guy says, sure, why, I'll try it. But then the Messiah warrior said to the American, does all those things makes you happy? You got so many things you're carrying with you that makes you happy. But sometimes we will say this is just a necessity for the time being. It does not makes me happy, but I just have a necessity to keep it. But that person also living in a rural area, remote area, but they never think of anything sort of tangible to keep it with them. And say, okay, life, day-to-day life, I want to eat, I want to sleep, I just want to enjoy, not carrying the burden on our shoulders for carrying this.
Simple, isn't it?
Correct. And that's where a lot of things started to shape ourselves.
Yeah.
How we look at things. We compare ourselves with other people with their body images. Oh, I want to be look like exactly that person. You
Yeah.
never know. That person might be a bulimic. That person might be something else going on.
Yeah.
All about knowing your own self, and that's where emotional intelligence plays a significant role.
Yeah.
Emotional intelligence is all about self-awareness.
Okay.
You have self-aware about yourself. What makes you happy here, not here in your heart?
Yeah.
What makes you happy? Putting a new cloth on your body feels you, yeah, I'm wearing something new. It fits me. I'm happy with the body I have, whether is a size 8 or size 12 or size 14 or size 16, whatever. I'm happy, but I'm happy in my body, and I can know that I'm not deliberately eating excess amount, but is the shape of my body is like that. I can continue to work on my diet in terms of what I eat as a nutrition, yeah, and how much what is my ancestry DNA, how is my mom looks like, how is my sister look like, and how is my brother look like. There are a lot of connection from there as well. And another thing is about what sort of conditioning you have been done in regards to, are you suppressing in your body everything, all your emotions?
Yeah.
When you suppress everything, what happens? You're creating a void. And to fill that void, what you do, you feed yourself. You say, I want to just feed myself. I just want to make sure that it's full. And as you must have heard about a lot of people who hoard their house with small things just to keep that space full with something and something.
Yeah.
And these are all being connected with your emotional well-being and your surrounding, who you surrounded with. how they are helping you to grow from that sort of mindset.
And so if keeping all that in mind, say someone wants to really, improve themselves in this area, in emotional intelligence, where would they start? Like I know you were talking about self-awareness. So if we say, all right, I want to be more emotionally intelligent, what is the first step? Like, where do we start?
It's very simple. It's very simple.
Like
we
that
make
word.
our life, we make our life complicated. I was talking to one of my friend, and he is almost 65 years old. And he said, Sam, he still got some mental issues, and he overcome with so many what I call it hypnotherapy. He been on different workshops. He been fire walking, and he has done all. He spent almost 60 to 80 grand to
Wow.
recover from that. Correct, but still get episodes of those things. He just go back into the same loop because still not healed properly.
Yeah.
Now, I said to a lot of people, make your life basic, simple. What is basic, simple? You look after your body, whether you have enough intake in your body of water, so your urine is not very yellow, correct? So your yellow urine means you are not drinking enough water. Your body is already telling you. And you started to have some problems on your skin. That's again is your body telling you that is nothing, not right in your tummy. You are not putting right things in your tummy.
Yeah.
These are all things. These are simple, basic things. Our ancestors never used to have these sort of problems because they were having very simple diet.
Yeah.
But now we are just going for a processed foods. We are just going for quick fix. You have a headache. What do you do? 2 pills in your mouth to suppress that headache. I had a severe headache yesterday because I did not sleep. My pattern was changed. And then my wife said to me, why don't you have some paracetamol? I said, no, I can't. I sat in mindfulness just to release those things.
Yeah.
And by the evening, everything was fine. But I have to persist in that. I picked up the tablet in my hand and I said, no, I don't want to have it. I don't want to have it. But this is
really clever pressure points that I've recently learned for that as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
You call it the Tylenol or something where you compress it. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And you just do a couple of tapping on your head. You do a couple of tapping here, a couple of tapping here. These are all sensory things which can help you to release those. But again, we are in a fire and fight situation. I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. And you just say, oh, you know what, to get it, my headache, just put 2 pills and let the work going on. So the first pillar is mindfulness, to start again calming your mind. The more your mind is calmed down, you will make better decisions for yourself. Simple example is you are on the road, somebody cuts you off. Because you are not in the mind, what you're going to do, you're going to swear, you're going to honk, and do all sorts of things, correct? Yeah, correct. But if you are aligned and if you are in a right mind frame, what you think is that it might be that person might have cut me off because it might be running to the hospital, or it might have an emergency of some sort of. I want to be protected myself. I have to make sure that my car and myself is safe. That might be dangerous driver. It could be something I don't want to, but I just want to save myself. But that sort of notion comes with mindfulness. That notion comes with self-awareness. That notion comes with being aligned with your emotions and managing your emotions.
Yeah.
Somebody says something to you, you have a trigger, because that resonated with you, your childhood, your mother must have said to you, or your sibling must have said to you, and that triggers, and you says, how dare you say to me like that?
Yeah, and the thing is, we're projecting, right? So I think I was talking to one of the other speakers about it. I can't remember, but we can often scroll through Facebook, and there'll be something that triggers us where we have to comment, right? And you see it, people fighting. What it really is we're projecting how we're feeling. We've been triggered by that post. If we have this is what I'm hearing from you. If we're mindful in those moments, and we go, why is this triggering me? why am I responding to this driver that's driving like that? They've obviously got their own issues. If we're mindful and in those moments and say, what is it that's really bothering me right now, you know, and being mindful. So that's what I'm hearing from you. And it's a nice way to put it too, because I think we don't often break it down down to that very basic step, because that is the very basic first step that we need to do in these moments is mindfulness. And it's very breezed over, isn't it, mindfulness? But when we can take that in so many different areas of our lives, and people will even say, even while you're doing the dishes, be mindful, right? And that's the time where I want to like daydream away, right? But they're saying even in those moments, being mindful can make a massive difference to your life. I still haven't had a mindful dishwash yet. Oh.
It's about, because we are being bombarded with so much information.
Yeah.
And we are bombarded with a lot of things coming around from right, left, and center. We just wanted to make it like we become robots.
Yeah.
My journey, I came here in 1996. I was born and brought up in Pakistan. That is a completely different culture.
Yeah.
Of like my mother, my father, my siblings, my uncle and aunt, everybody was living in the same vicinity. So going to somebody else's house is not about knocking on the door. It's just open the door, go inside, have something to eat and enjoy.
Yeah.
It's coming. And then I grew up with the notion of serving others. We are always in the voluntary services, serving others. And I came to this country and something like hit me that first of all, you are bound to your house until you make an appointment to see your relatives. You can't actually just go and knock on their door because everybody's working different shifts.
Yeah.
Everybody is doing their own thing. They might not interested to you to show up on their doorstep. Correct?
Yeah.
So it was a bigger shock for me to come to
Different
this
values,
country.
isn't it?
Completely different values.
Mm.
Differently, then I started to integrate in this society, going out in the community, sharing my values and other things. It took me time. It took me time to integrate. I started learning a lot of other things, and it is also affected me in the beginning to find a job, looking for something. It was not very easy. Even I had a lot of skill sets, but people were not ready to offer me that opportunity because I looked like an alien in a country. And I say, you haven't got an experience. We don't want to hire you. I say, if you don't give me work, how am I going to earn an experience?
I think you'll find that we have that same problem when we're younger too.
Yeah, absolutely. And most young people are affected by this. Right now, situation are changing. With COVID has happened. I think a lot of people are talking about COVID as a curse, but I would say COVID has not a curse, is a blessing. If you look at it in a disguise, is a blessing.
Yeah.
And it's a blessing in the terms of that giving you a perspective to stop your life and re-evaluate.
Yeah.
Is this what you want to do for the rest of the life? Or you would like to take a step back and you know what? I'm being look like a headless chicken, running around like a headless chicken. I remember I was working in London. I used to rush to the platform. I knew which staircase I have to take to reach to which platform to catch my train on time.
Yeah.
Because I was so mechanically or robotically balanced in that sort of, I would say, balance or our condition. So I will remember that, and I know my 1 second missed means my train is gone.
Yeah. Well, you're just bringing back memories of me rushing at Richmond Station to catch a connecting train and then they change the platform on you. So you're running and then they change the platform down there and then everyone's running and then you get to work and you're all sweaty and smelly because you've been running and it's 45 degrees outside.
Yeah, you can imagine how you become so frustrated. And
Yeah.
people now there is another shift. Now people have been working from home. People flexible. People are working extra instead of not working. People
Yeah.
are being given the opportunity. Now people have anxiety to go back to work
Yeah.
because they say, I don't want to work. I don't want to go back to
How
that
will
work.
people manage that? Like I think that's probably a lot of people watching will be experiencing that. So, thinking about your emotional intelligence experience, how will people handle that anxiety of not really wanting to go back to work and feeling a bit odd about it all?
It's all start with a routine. What sort of routine do you have? What makes you content in yourself, finding that space of mindfulness, finding that space of, what, yeah, if I'm going to go back to work, but let me just re-energize myself. What sort of exercise I'm doing, what sort of energized food I'm intaking, what sort of supplements I'm eating, and that gives you a boost in terms of understanding and managing your emotions, managing your vitality of your body, gives you that an extra energy in you to start focusing on different things. It's not that it's not that there is a challenge, is that are you up to that scratch to that challenge of going back and re-energizing yourself in the because if somebody says to me, Sam, you need to change in terms of your location from one place to another location. I said that's good. I've thrived on change because I took a leap of faith to come from Pakistan to London to UK, and in UK I moved around almost 5 times
Yeah.
to different corners. So for me, change is a thriving episode. But for some people in the office,
And make
a
them feel
change,
very anxious, can't it?
yeah, from one desk to another desk or one team to another team, they feel completely unbalanced.
The unknown, I guess. I think anxiety is future and depression is past, right? So I think if we think about that, we can, like you said at the start, be in our head, and we're in our head about, oh, I have to go back to work, and I've got to wear clothes again, and for the women we might have to put a bra on again and go outside. And not used to being around people, so I guess we've kind of become a little introverted, and it's not the norm anymore. So staying home, like when we first started staying home, that wasn't the norm, so that was where the anxiety was. But now we've gotten used to that, and now we've got to go back to work, which we've done in the past. In our minds we know we've done it in the past, but for some reason this anxiety is coming up, and I guess that's the unknown thing again, wrapped up in a little bit of the fear mongering that goes on. So I guess addressing that mindfulness that you were talking about, being aware of, okay, what am I feeling, where's it coming from, what are the thoughts attached to that, is that true? And that's how, I guess, how we build our emotional intelligence, isn't it, when we practice those things you talk about, which is being mindful. That's such a beautiful place to start, being mindful in that moment when you're feeling anxious about going back to work. And what am I thinking, what are the words attached to it, whose words are they, is a good one I like. Are they my words or somebody else's? Where am I feeling that in my body? And then I guess reframing would that be your next step, reframing those thoughts, feelings? I've done this before, I've been in the office 1,000 times. Is it that, do we go to that reassuring place? Is that, what would you say would be the next step?
It's about being present in the moment, trying to cultivate what sort of beauty you can see while you are in the present moment, because we're always looking at the future or the past. But let's start living in the moment, and that's why it's called present.
Yeah.
That's why it's called present, and start living that moment to moment instead of thinking of, well, I'm going to do something this evening, and if that is not materialized, how you're going to feel about it? You say to your husband or your children that, oh yeah, mom is going to come home and make a spaghetti for you, and by the time you come home, it's too late,
Yeah.
and you say, you know what? Take something out from the
Not making
take.
spaghetti tonight.
So putting additional pressure on yourself. That become with the norm. We live in the society. We forget to delegate the task because we feel, it's rather me do it than delegate it to somebody else. And day in, day out, a lot of people do the same thing. You say it's rather, even in office environment, we always look at this way that, let me just do it instead of delegating. And then you cry about it that I got so much work on my head.
Yeah.
Because you're not delegating. You're not choosing to delegate. That's your issue, not anybody else's issue.
Yeah.
Correct. And that's where a lot of emotions play or triggers a lot of things and affects you emotionally, mentally.
Yeah. So
you're exhausted on that.
So if we're feeling anxious about going back to work, what I'm hearing from you is we're feeling anxious about going back to work, and we have those triggering thoughts in our minds that, again, it's about mindfulness and being here now. So when we're anxious, I might have to go back to the office. Well, that might be next week or tomorrow. So right now you're here. So ground yourself and be present right now, and bring yourself back to the moment, and then that way that takes away that anxiety. And I guess the only time that I guess is relevant for you to wonder what it's going to be like when you walk in the door is when you're actually walking in the door of the office. So if you can bring it right back to now and focus on now, like what am I doing right now to feel happy and healthy? What am I doing right now to feel calm and relaxed? And, how am I feeling my body right now? And what can I do? Can I breathe? Can I do meditation? And you were talking about that earlier about, practicing mindfulness and meditation. So, they're great, really great suggestions, being mindful. And it's such a simple, easy thing to remember.
Yeah, everything has to go back to simplicity. The more simplicity you carry with you, people become minimalistic people, says, I don't want so many things in my house. I just want to keep very short and simple. A rucksack or a suitcase or something. I have 4 clothes and I have got 2 shoes and this. And everybody has a different way of looking at life. You live in a society, you need to project yourself that you have stand on some sort of pedestal to show something. Yeah, we are all human beings. Yeah, and this is not natural for us to go out and buy something beautiful to put it onto our body, or have a cologne or a perfume to put it on our body to smell nice, because that's part of our journey, part of our life, and it's natural to have those sort of things. There is no demand on that one. You just enjoy what you feel like enjoying it.
Yeah.
And that's why I said to a lot of people, be present, be here. Yeah, going to work, going back, you are going to be talking to a lot of people back home, back in the office. They are going to be sharing a lot of their journey, how they felt about being at home, how they felt about it. They are rejuvenated. Oh yeah, it's back to office. Yeah, I'm feeling more content over here because I can see you all, my friends and everything. We go out for a pint in the pub or something like that. We're going to have some fun time, and which is good because that is nourishment to your mind and everything. Yeah. But you have to realize that when you are at home and you have siblings around you, or your husband or wife or your children, they also need your time. And that's what you should learn from this episode of COVID. You have learned now, you need to continue that what is more important to your health or your wealth. Yeah, it's your choice. His choice is all yours. It's not Sam's choice, or it's not Jodie's choice.
I guess you can pop that in your journal too, is, make a choice and practice being mindful. So when you are not working, you're with your family and you're mindfully with your family and your mind's not on work, and vice versa. So really good suggestions there. And I like the simplicity of it as well. And I love fun and easy, right? So, and mindfulness can be a lot of fun if you really practice down to the detail. Like I think it was Deepak Chopra was saying that you go into the garden and you mindfully walk around your garden and you don't label anything. I find that the hardest. You don't label anything. So you don't say it's a flower or it's a beautiful flower. You just be with the flower. I find that really hard to walk out there and not go, that's a flower. In my mind, I'm like, stop it.
Yeah, because we have been taught that way. We have been conditioned that way.
Yeah.
That's why if I will say to you, uh, don't think of elephant. Don't think of elephant. What you're going to do? We're going to think of elephant.
Yeah.
And that's our mind. Our mind is an amazing device. It can create some amazing things.
Yeah.
You don't want to be controlled by the mind. You should be the master to tell how to activate different areas. Your mind can activate whatever you would like to activate.
Yeah.
Or choice how you want to let it be.
And I think it's the thing, if people really get that, if we really get that and understand how the powerful tool that we are actually in control of. So whatever is happening in our life is because of our mind, right? And we are driving it that way. So good or bad. So whatever's happening, we are in the driving seat. When you realize that you are manifesting the negative part in your life now, so easily, right? So fast. If you're worried about bills, bills are there. If you realize that you can manifest a completely different life just as fast, and when you get that, that's when I think life really changes. And that emotional intelligence starts to kick in a gear, because you realize that those emotions are kicking you out of the journey that you want. And, you know, fear is an emotion, you know, sadness, anger, all those sorts of emotions that go on can be getting in the way of the life that you actually want. And nobody else makes you feel anything. This is the thing people don't, and they're like, oh yeah, but that person said this and they said that to me. And I said, yeah, but you are the one that feels sad. You are the one that's making yourself feel sad by somebody else's actions. And it's hard because sometimes people come at you, but like you said, we get triggered. When we are mindful and we understand why we're being triggered, other people don't affect us. And I think when we can get to that place, what you're talking about, of that emotional intelligence, when whether you're going to work or something's happening, you know, you're switching around jobs inside your workplace or whatever else is going in your life, when we get into that place where it doesn't matter what goes on in our lives, we can enjoy it and feel immersed in our experience and have a good experience, and realize that we 100% control that. Doesn't matter what anybody else says or does. We are the ones that make us sad and happy and angry and all of that. And I guess that it's a hard pill to swallow, especially when you feel like things are being done to you. And sure, that happens. People do things to us, but how we respond to that, either that we let them get to us or we don't, right? And so emotional intelligence is part of that.
And that's the choice. That's the choice.
Yep.
And, you know, there's another thing with emotional intelligence, or you can talk about emotional resilience, how you cater those two things together is building those, I would say, building those stamina of blocks to hold you in that.
Yeah, stamina is a good word.
And clearing your thought processes instead of play forward. If something happens to you, you start playing forward. Now this is going to happen, that's going to happen. Of course, you are manifesting it because everything is going to come together. Yeah, you are manifesting it, because even the universe is not wanted to happen those things, but because you said to the universe, I want to have, but I'm just thinking everything is going to go bad now. You must have heard about those things, that people who are doing a big convention, and there are waiters and waitresses in the arena, and they are holding so many glasses of things, and they are walking around and they're distributing everything. But there will be one person who will say, I'm going to drop this, I'm going to drop this, I'm going to drop this.
I'm going to trip up the stairs is another one.
Absolutely. So it's about, we started to, because we condition too much in our head. Everything is our head here.
Yeah.
It's all about bringing the wisdom into your mind, bringing that wisdom into your mind to see things differently. Yeah, see things differently. Because what happened is we are actually oblivious to so many beautiful around us because we are so conditioned or so much uh, clogged up in our head. We don't see beautiful things. As you said, we go in the garden and we don't want to say or label the flower because
Yeah.
that's what has been given to us, that you should label the flower. Is a rose, is a red rose, is a yellow rose, is a white rose, and this and that. But
Yeah.
when you go there and just enjoy the beauty, the 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 beauty present in there, the warmth of the sun,
Mm.
the touch of that wind on your skin, the touch of this the cloth on your skin, or the smell, you smell something, or you hear birds are chirping,
Mm.
it puts you down completely. And because we don't do it, because we are saying that, oh, if I'm going to go for 15 minutes for a walk, I'm going to lose my work. Is your work more important or your health?
Yeah.
That's where the balance started to come. If you want to live a happy and long life, then you need to start here right now.
Yeah, I guess if we want to have this, that's why we've got the health, weight loss, and wellness show, right? So if we want that health, weight loss, and wellness, and we're ignoring ourselves, or we're not listening to how we're feeling or what we're thinking or what we really want, and we say we want it, if we're actually not taking steps to get there, then we're going to mistrust ourselves, right? We're going to mistrust what we're thinking and feeling and what we want. We're going to start saying, oh, I'm never going to get it, so then why try? And all sorts of things. So I guess with the emotional intelligence, that being mindful and bringing yourself back to that moment, I really love that so much, because even in that scenario, you can go, all right, mindfully, what am I doing right now? If I want to be healthier, if I want to lose weight, or I want, better health, weight loss and wellness, and I'm living mindfully, then when I'm feeling sad, instead of eating, I know I'm sad. When if I want to have more energy, if I am overworking and I'm mindful that I'm feeling tired in my body and I'm overworking, then we're not going to do it as much, and then we're going to feel like we've got more energy because we're not making ourselves exhausted. If I want to have a really good sleep, then I'm going to be mindful in how I approach my sleeping. And when it's bedtime, I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to not play Candy Crush on my phone, not talking about anybody right now. I'm not going to play Candy Crush or Solitaire on my phone. I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to, listen to the experts say about blue light and have none of that anywhere near me, or radiation or whatever they have. So when we want to really improve in these areas, and this is why we're here, right, in the show, starting with mindfulness, and that is your start to emotional intelligence, right? Being mindful. And that was, I love that word resilience, because that comes up when we have to continually practice being mindful and practicing emotional intelligence. And that, what that looks like is when the guy's driving down the road and cuts you off, in those moments, we can go off and we can yell and scream. But in those moments, and if you do, that's okay. But quickly recognize, I reacted. And then practice. So that's where that resilience comes in, because people are going to come at you. People are going to come for you, and sometimes, and they're going to trigger you. So that resilience that you're talking about, and I loved that you used that word, it's so relevant. The resilience that you're talking about is in those moments, keep reminding yourself to be mindful. In those moments, what am I thinking? What am I feeling? What's triggering me? And you need resilience to do that. You need resilience to keep doing that every single time. But the payoff, when you do, the payoff is huge and it's fast, isn't it? Because you train yourself pretty fast, faster than you can think. You can train yourself. And what ends up happening is you automatically don't get triggered. You automatically go, have no emotional response and go, oh, I felt triggered over that. Why was that? And then you recognize that in yourself. And then you process it and you let it go. And then your emotional intelligence just builds and builds and builds, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And again, another thing is that you're not giving your leash to anybody else. Because when those things happen, what you do is you give them your leash so they can keep you like a puppet.
Yeah.
And then you are triggered more. You're getting really angry. You're getting really wild, and it started to show that you are being triggered for that sort of thing.
Yeah, I like that analogy, because you can instantly picture somebody with a leash around your neck, and
Yes.
and really when you're reacting, that's what's happening, right? They're just tugging on that lead, and
yeah, because what is happening. This is what is happening, and I think the more you do mindfulness to start aware of your own emotions, these are all simple things. Because sometimes we make a lot of things complicated. As I was telling you about the story of my friend, he's been doing his therapy for a long time, and he knows all the tricks and traits and everything.
Yeah.
He says, "Oh, I'm going for a hypnotherapy session." I said, "That's good luck for you. You've been through those sort of journey."
Yeah.
Because then I say, yeah, I know that how that is being done. So if you know, your mind is saying to you, you don't need to do it, but you say, you know what, I have to do it. No, you don't have to do it, but no, I have to do it. So you are debating in your head already.
Yeah.
But not aligning yourself because you're not let it go.
Yeah.
He said, let it go and let it be a flow. We are not letting it go. You're not letting be in the flow. You're just keeping in the same moment and say, you know what, I'm happy where I am. I'm shackled down. I don't want to fly. And then people will say, what are you doing? You should be flying.
Yeah.
I want to tell people that I want to be shackled down.
You
Because
got to know yourself, don't you?
Yes, true.
And when we stop comparing, and when we know ourselves and we're mindful and we understand ourselves, and we start to like who we are once we understand ourselves, and then other people's words don't bother you. And then when someone says, well, you really should be doing this, you're like, actually, that I don't want to do that. I don't like it. And you're okay with doing that. And I feel like as we get older, we get that comes a little bit easier, telling people, I don't want to do that, but I still feel like we might feel a bit guilty about that sometimes. This conversation has been so enlightening. I've really enjoyed having this conversation with you, and I love this topic. It's one of my favorites, and my colleague, who is also my mentor, we often talk about these sorts of things. So it's been good to talk about it with you. I really don't feel like it's out there enough, and that there's enough people speaking about these things. Now, you've got a special gift that you want to offer the audience. Tell us about that.
So I would like to, people who are interested to have a conversation, it's a discovery call. They can book an hour call with me, and to discover that where they stand on their emotional journey, what are the area which are triggering those things, and how they can learn some small tools which I give them in my conversation. And that's actually to start something to start with, because everything has to start with the first step if you are ready to take that. You can't just say, okay, as I mentioned earlier in my discussion, that I've given the example of my friend. He has done a lot of things, but are you using those things, or you are just bragging about, I've done this, but yeah, if you are ready to cut those shackles, then take this opportunity, come and have a conversation with me, and you might be starting a new journey. And that's the beginning of it. That's the beginning of it. And this platform where everybody's going to come and listen, and you are here and you're listening, listen to all the speakers, what they are giving you. These are golden nuggets. They are things which you should take on board and analyze Do not justify, do not bring yourself saying, oh, well, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. It's all right. It's okay to be not okay. It's okay to just start from the first step you take. Mindfulness is all about being present and listening to your needs. You know, when you start listening to your needs and understanding, then this place of understanding and managing your emotions play a significant role going forward. You
Yeah,
will not be triggered. You are not going to feel void. You are feeling that I'm content. And you are not going to be binge eating as well, because you are mindful of what you are putting in your body.
exactly.
That
Yes.
nourishment, the bite, what you're going to have, the way you chew it, and well present in that moment, and enjoying that the symphony of those tastes coming in your mouth, and you are just enjoying and feeling that taste coming in. You can imagine that, because right now what we are doing is we are running around like a headless chicken, as I used this phrase before,
Yeah, we
and you are just putting everything in your mouth, and you're not enjoying it. You are actually
yeah.
shoving it.
It'd be good for them
That's
to, those listening, to be able to speak with you. So that's really generous of you. Thank you, first off. You know, a whole hour, that's amazing. And if you are experiencing these things where you feel like you're not being very mindful, or there's stuff that's triggering you, here's an opportunity that you can take and you know, you get an hour with Sam and you can talk to him about, you know, whether food is triggering you, whether you've got binge eating going on, whether you're stressed about going back to work, and you can talk to Sam about those things, and he can give you these tips, tools and tips in this call. So thank you so much. It's a very generous offer. I really appreciate it. And I really appreciate you being here today and talking about this, one of my favorite topics in the world. So thanks again, Sam, for being here.
Thank you very much for giving this opportunity, Jody. I really appreciate that. And I wish you all the success upwards and onwards, wherever you
Thank
go with
you.
this journey. And bringing people together is very important. And we are over here to serve. My one of the best value, or my one of the top value, is to serve others.
Yep.
There is no expectation. People want to
Yeah.
work with me. That's their choice. I'm not going to break them and say, no, no, you need to work. No,
Yeah.
it's not about that. It's the choice you will make. That's it.
Beautiful. Thank you. And for those who are listening on YouTube or Facebook, you'll need to register to get a hold of Sam's special gift there. So go ahead. The link is in the description. Click on the link, register, so you can get this episode and all the others, and find out how you can also watch each of the episodes on demand. So that's it for this episode today. Thank you again, Sam, and we will see you in tomorrow's episode. Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye-bye.